Good afternoon. This is Gary Maurer, and I'm actually here at the Arbor Expo trade show with Jim Mulkey of ProTree. Jim just bought this amazing truck here earlier in the spring. He's been out experimenting with it, learning how it works. And Jim, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to talk with us today. First of all, what's your overall impressions of the truck? You had certain expectations. This is what you ended up with. How did your expectations work out with the final product that you received?
The final product is well put together and well thought out. The ergonomics of the small batch mixing that you have, two smaller tanks in here, and especially the end jet really cuts down on time. When I'm on a site, I could do 3 or 4 different items and without really having to do a lot of major changeover or cleaning or anything like that. And the whole industry has been really turning over to more of a low volume, so the different backpack sprayers, the low volume soil injection, and then the tanks for the fertilization process, especially with the low water source mixture that a lot of us have moved to. I haven't needed more than 400 gallons of water this year.
Okay. Yeah,
I think
the business has changed.
Yeah, I regularly use 200 to 300 max in a day, and I very rarely needed to go over 400 to complete a round.
Overall, just said your expectations when you first came in the office. We talked about this and what you ended up buying. Is it meeting or exceeding your expectations?
Bare minimum meeting, and we're definitely going towards the exceeding expectations just because of the way, the efficiency, even filling up the water makes it a lot easier. You're able to do having the filter outside is really nice, because if you do, I have had a handful of spills inside of the van, but there's been 2 out of an entire season.
Right.
A lot of the stuff you come to the back, and everything allows you to bring all of your stuff out. So my spills were right at the edge of the thing because I'm standing at the back of the truck. So cleanup has been really easy. And I did do a full breakdown and cleanup middle of the year where I cleaned and washed and wiped down everything. And I was even able to run water from the front to back and then park the van on a hill and just let all the water rush out the back of
so
it.
it cleans pretty easily then.
And it was pretty easy to clean the stuff. So
We have this special system in there. You can take a hose off and actually use your transfer pump and pump water actually right where we're standing in backpacks, wash hands, equipment, so forth. Have you used that much at all?
I use that quite a bit, just because it's so much easier to have that available for you rather than having to always lean on the gas pump to fire stuff off. We do a lot of stuff where it's only a couple of gallons in a backpack sprayer, and that's perfect for transferring over.
Really fast, really fast.
It doesn't have to be loud. If anything, over the years of working in the tree industry, I have gone away from liking loud noises, and this helps me with that, because you get onto a site, you don't have to fire up
Your customers
an engine.
appreciate that.
Absolutely, and it's efficient, and if you really wanted to, you could fill 2 tanks at one time or do multiple things at one time, because you could fill both tanks simultaneously if you were really in that much of a rush. But it's so efficient that I haven't needed to break that.
Do you think now I think you mentioned, if you don't mind me saying, you make $3,500, $4,000 a day with this piece of equipment. Is it more efficient than other equipment that you've used in the past? Can you get more done in a day? Is that why you're making that much money a day, just because the equipment's more efficient?
Yeah, it's definitely more efficient. I mean, I've worked for some of the other larger big box companies, and their systems are similar, but they also really rely more on a major water source. We're going from being, I think, a total capacity of about 500 gallons in this outfit to where a lot of those trucks were 900. I know they had to keep under a DOT regulation. I think it's 1,100 for
1,000
container.
Yeah.
But driving around with 900 pounds or 900 gallons compared to 50% of that, just the weight range is nice. The efficiency of I never have to change a route to height. I never have to change a route to my physical weight. I drive over everything and under everything. And especially in our area where we have a lot of 10-foot bridges, I don't have to think about it, and I kind of get to make jokes at the guys because they drive 12.5-foot trucks all over the place, and I'll drive underneath something and I see them make a turn and go somewhere else, and it's enjoyable.
And that's part of your efficiency too. You know, if you can save 15 minutes or 30 minutes a day because you don't have to go out of your way to get to your work.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's just more work you can get done.
Especially for the main line, there's a lot of bridges and old low weight stuff that they're just never going to change, and it's a nightmare transitioning. I drive underneath it. You can literally spend 10 to 15 minutes rerouting out and around those bridges. And
per job.
per job. And I think the most amount of jobs I've completed in one day were about nine physical stops in one day, and that leads more to the higher revenue side of things. So.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take a moment just to ask about the inject. Do you use this very much? And if so, what's your experience with it?
I have. I really like it. I do a lot of smaller batch mixing with it, and I'll do a couple of trees, say 2 to 3 trees in one batch, and then I'll go back and mix another 2 or 3 trees.
Okay.
I do have another job coming up where I'm going to fully utilize the capacity of the backpack and hook it up. So I haven't used the specific backpack with the inject just yet.
Okay.
Because
But just using the 1 gallon container so far.
The cleaning one's nice, and then I have them labeled. One is for my midichlogrid, the other one's for a growth regulator, and I'll clean them on occasion. I'm not really diligent with that, but I'm definitely really diligent with washing it out every
inject
time.
every day.
Yeah, every time, because it's really easy, and it helps to prime it correctly to do it that way.
Is it a money maker?
It is. It's so much easier. When I wrote the standards for when we started the operation this year, I wrote it as a normal fertilization, like using a pump system where you're going to do the 3 foot by 3 foot grid underneath the tree, and I'm going to have to rewrite my specification because we have this in the fleet, because I didn't use it this year at all, so I got to keep it off of our paperwork at that point. It's still going to achieve the same application method, but probably 100% faster. Right, 50 to 100% faster, because you don't got to start this, you don't got to transfer water,
right?
And you're either able to use the transfer pump. I do end up using the hand washing station for some of my low volume mixing.
Oh, okay.
I'll fill the hand washing station up with the clean water, and then I just tip and have it right there, and it's really low volume, very controlled.
Well, it'd be particularly good to make your 1 gallon containers for your inject too, because it's the right amount of water, and
that's exactly what I use it for.
Okay.
You're not putting much more than a couple thousand milliliters into a container at one time,
right?
And that works with the 4 to 5 gallon capacity with that. So as much as it is a hand washing station, I am utilizing it as a even lower volume water source just to conserve and use it in a different way than it might have been designed.
Well, that's great. We're always excited to hear about people finding new ways. I mean, we try to design our equipment so there's all different kinds of flexibility and design options that are built into it for you as a technician. And we're always excited to hear about new ways that our technicians find to use these things. Any last thoughts or final comments you'd like to make about the machine and what it does?
I probably wouldn't change much of anything. And if I change anything, it's very small creature comforts just to make it much more easier for us. I really would have a hard time, and what I'll do over the next day or so in the conference is I'll think of trying to figure out some real genuine negatives.
Don't work too hard. It's fine.
No, I mean, it really is. Right off the top of my head, I mean, I gotta say there's very minimal with it. I know we still gotta get some more of the wear and tear on it and see where you might have some wear and tear issues with it. But within this calendar year, once we got a lot of the stuff fixed with some of the fit and finish, we're good to go. I mean, I literally have been clear sailing the entire way out.
Well, great.
So,
Jim, I really
Thank you
appreciate
very
your time to speak with us on camera today.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate your business, and thank you again for sharing your thoughts about how this is working out for your company to grow your business and provide more higher quality professional services to your clients.
Absolutely, and thank you for standing by products and coming through and making sure everything gets situated and fixed right, and it was clear sailing. We did initially have a couple of minor leaks. Some gremlins came out. We did communicate properly, and we had it fixed within a handful of days, less than that. So it was a pretty efficient turnaround time with a small problem, and we were able to get it resolved and move past it. And it's probably been, in my opinion, of course, since I run it, one of the best additions to our company. So,
Jim, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. I
Take care,
appreciate your
sir.
time.
Continued success.
Thank you.